to achieve a life of their dreams. Nothing comes easy in this life. I hate poverty with every fiber in my bone. I don't like it. I don't have a lot of
Before.
money right now. I know
Yeah.
it's coming. But I really feel like I have an extraordinary life because every day I seek to be a better person. It's not just about money, right? But make money, because money can also do a lot of good.
Relationships sometimes, or oftentimes, it's not really about having 1,000 people, but having like 10 people who can make up for
Okay,
1,000.
So Unshelved Dreams is basically to remind people that fine, make this money, do this, but don't forget about this thing, because this can really pave the way for your true happiness and actual wealth. Like, a lot of people focus on their job and not their work. Your job is, of course, what helps you to keep food on your table, keep your lights on and all that. But your work is that thing, that solution that you feel like you were sent to bring to this world. Hey beautiful people, you're welcome back to another episode of Unshelved Dreams, and my name is Reni, and I am so happy to see you wherever you're watching from, wherever you're listening from. It's such a pleasure, to just be here and talk to you
right.
guys, right?
That's
And
right.
today I have with me in the studio my very, very good friend. She's like one of the closest
Say it.
people to me, actually.
Say
She's one of
go.
the people that I bugged with this idea that, babe, I need to do a podcast. I need to do this. I need to do that. She's like, okay, baby girl, let's just do it. And today gives me great joy that I won't be doing any interview because she is on an assignment to interview me today, and I'm just really looking forward to having the conversation with her. And I am not going to mention her name because she is technically the host for today, so I'm just gonna leave it open for her to tell us who she is.
Hey, friends. I know you all are used to Reni being the host, but today I'm going to be the host and she's going to be my guest. Are you ready? My name is Simi, and again, like I said, I'm the host for today. And it's such a pleasure to introduce my beautiful friend, whom I am so proud. I don't want to bring this into it, but when Jesus said, "This is my beloved son, this is my beloved friend in whom I'm so well pleased."
Thank you.
Reni, could you go ahead and introduce yourself now today as the guest?
Anyway, my name is Reni, and this is Unshelved Dreams. Thank you for watching. And today I am being interviewed by my good friend Simi.
Okay, thank you for that. Let's get right into it. How do you feel, first of all?
Well, I feel good. The fact that I've had this idea for the longest time, and I mean, I know you know about all of it. I've had the idea for the longest time, and just finally doing it and getting it out there, and I feel like I'm literally walking in my purpose, because this is all I've always wanted to do, to just have conversations, empowering conversations, and it feels good to be finally doing it.
Absolutely. Empowering great conversations. I love that. I mean, since I've known you, I think that was where our friendship sprung up from. Conversations, good conversations.
Yeah.
And like you said, you've always been that person. You've always been that person to bring up. I know you've said this podcast countless times, probably in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
And just seeing you do this right now, or probably even more than 5 years, seeing you do this right now is very inspiring.
Thank
It's
you.
very, it's something that I'm so proud of. And I'm just so proud of the woman you're involving to day by day. And we just want to talk about, first of all, what inspired you to start this? Let's take it back to when you first had that dream, when you first had that thing, like, oh, I want to do a podcast. Was it someone that mentioned it to you? Like, how did that start?
Well, I think this just really comes from a place of first assignment. And who gives us assignment? Of course, I'm not in school right now. So who gives assignment? It's God. I just think God is always just impressing things on my heart. And prior to moving to this country and living in Nigeria, I just get these random ideas. One day I was just doing stuff and I just had never escaping work. I'm like, okay, where are we going with this? I don't know. Like, I was like, God, is this supposed to be a book? Is this supposed to be a movie? Because I am also a film producer. What is this supposed to be? Never escaping work. So I've had that idea for like the longest. So it was more of like the last 4 years when I started getting more into personal development, watching videos of people, that they start coming to me that, oh, okay, I'm really passionate about the work people do to actually to achieve a life of their dreams. Nothing comes easy in this life, right? Nothing comes easy because you have to even to pray,
That's right.
right? To pray, to know, to get that clarity that this is what I am supposed to be doing at this particular time in my life. All those things is work that we all need to pay attention to. And that is just what I feel like my life's work is, to just talk about the work that we need to do to actually achieve a life of our dreams. And that comes from a place of personal development and just really wanting to be better and also wanting to share that with other people. So that's really, the name was initially Never Escaping Work, like we said, but after a lot of considerations and conversations with people, with my coach, and we got to the point where it's like, okay, let's do Unshelved Dreams. Let's do Never Escape. Let's not do Never Escaping Work, because a lot of people are trying to even escape work, but now you're telling them they're never going to escape work is like, oh, it's not going to be counterproductive. But I really get the idea of what I'm saying, because honestly, no matter what you want in this life, you're still not going to escape the work. So, I mean, we're now on Unshelved Dreams. So basically, take those dreams off the shelf and live an extraordinary life.
That was very profound. That was so profound. And because I was going to go into like asking you why on shelf dreams, but you kind of spoke about it already, which is like taking it off. Like there's a place of vision, there's a place of action. Like
Yeah.
you taking off that vision off the shelf and doing it, which is the most difficult part, I
The
would
action
say.
part,
Even
yeah.
for me, I struggle with that every day of my life. And sometimes like seeing you do this has inspired me even more to say, you know what, girl, maybe there's some things that you need to do, like take that bold step. So one of the things that you also said is that nothing good comes easy, right? And I just really want us to talk. Let's talk about this process. We just talked about what inspired you. That's something really big. Like, like, oh, you just had that idea in your heart and you just knew you needed to follow it through. And looking at your personality is not far-fetched from what God dropped in your heart. It's very much in line. Now, let's talk about the process. How has it been? I know that the first time that you mentioned this to me was probably 20, like it was a long time ago,
long time
right?
ago, yes.
That was probably like 5-6 years ago. And now is when you're starting. So I really want you to like talk about how has the journey been? How has it been from I want to do this to is it the right time to you now doing it? When did you say that, you know what, let's get the ball rolling?
Yeah. So, like you also know, in the last 5 years, there's been a lot of changes. Moving to a new country, getting married, having a baby. So all those things, they actually make us stall as women sometimes, right?
Absolutely.
So it was after my baby's getting grown, and I just started thinking about it, like, okay, what next? I know that I didn't want to. I do other things, but I didn't want to get into a job and feel tied in. I really wanted to do something that I always wanted to do, which is filmmaking. Of course, filmmaking is like, that one is another dream to be unshelved, right? So the next thing was, okay, I have this idea for this podcast. Okay, so how do we do it? Then I started thinking, okay, yeah, podcast it is. We started working. I'm a kind of person, I believe in mentorship a lot. I believe in coaching so much because I know it helps you to shorten that journey.
That's
You may
right.
get it by yourself, but when you work with people, it helps you to shorten the journey. So I started learning from other people, and okay, then I started working towards, okay, let's do the podcast. I started thinking about it, started putting things together. I was like, I started with the old DIY situation, buy a camera. I didn't know who to talk to. It was just everywhere. Of course, if I was in Nigeria, by the grace of God, it's easier to put together a team there, right? But I'm barely like 3 years or so in this country, and it was like, okay, where do I start from? And now we think about the money. Fine, I talk about mindset that, oh, okay, you can do anything, you can do everything, right? But you still get that fear. You still get to that place where it's like, you don't even know how to proceed with the idea that you have. So what I did was I literally got back into this place of prayer, because I can tell you that my relationship with God this year has really grown, and I've seen the things I used to pray for, like, God, I want this kind of relationship. I want this kind where I feel led, I feel directed by you. That has been my prayer for a long time. That I just want to have that relationship. And honestly, I got it. Even especially for this, the reason why we are here today is because of a prayer I prayed for a whole day. I was like, God, this podcast, I really want to do it. But the whole DIY thing that goes on in America, buy a camera, do this, people do it, and it's good, right? But I realized that that was making me stall. It was not making me move forward, because there are things that I really enjoy doing. I just want to sit down and talk and let other people handle the camera, handle the sound, handle the editing. Honestly,
Right.
right, I didn't want to do any of those things. Then I was just praying the whole day, and not like I sat down, I was like, oh, do. It's just being in that consciousness, and it's like you're communicating with someone. Because the way I see my relationship with God right now is like, okay, I'm on the phone all day and it's on the other line. And okay, maybe I'm doing something else, but I just have it at the back of my mind that somebody is there. So if anything, I'm like, okay, God, which way should I go? God, Alpha, where? Do you get? So I've been doing that a lot. So I found myself just praying repeatedly that day. And I was about to do dishes, I remember. And I was like, let me just find something nice to watch on YouTube, because I love to listen to Myron Golden and all those amazing guys on YouTube. So I started looking for what to listen to. I was like, okay, I just saw, how YouTube just brings up different things for you. And it just brought up this new show, God is my creative director. And I'm like, this sounds good. This looks good. I didn't even know who it was. And that was my very first time coming across that. In fact, this thing we're doing right now is an idea I also got from that podcast. So shout out to you, Buku Billions, wherever you are. She's the creator of the show. So I was watching. I said, okay, let me just see what this show is about. I think it was the episode she had with the lady who owns Topic. She owns like a skincare brand. So I just started watching it, and in the first few seconds of watching that show, Buku goes, oh yeah, when I was praying to God about, who should come on the show, and he just told me to bring you, and I told my team. Do you get?
Right.
It just came to me like, girl, you need a team. Do you get? This is not an idea. Do you understand? Like, it's like, really, it was like a reinforcement. And immediately that happened, the voice clear, like, yeah, that's it. That's what you've been praying about. And I'm like, okay, this is how this Jesus thing works, right? And it was so good. It felt really good, because from there, it was just more and more clarity, and everything just started aligning. I met the right person. Shout out to you, Chrissy, to help with the video, with the sound, right? My guy, everything just aligned. The things I knew those things, but in a way, they were just like, it was not coming to me.
That's right.
To do it. So the process is really starts with God, and the fact that we are here right now. Because honestly, if not for that, that was the little spark that was like, okay, yeah. So so that's the process for me. And then I started talking. Okay. Then I realized I even had Chris's number. That's the video. I had a number all this while, and it did never occur to me
to reach
do
out.
you understand?
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, and now I started doing the research, who's going to come. Then Unshelved Dreams, what I really wanted the show to be about is, okay, you've unshelved. You don't have to have made $1 million. You don't have to be at the top of your career. It's just, okay, where are you right now? The fact that you wake up each day to take all those daily steps, right? And you're putting this work out there. You know how the Bible says, let your light so shine so before all men, that people may see your good works. Like, are we saying what you're doing? It's just not really about money. I was like, okay, I'm going to talk to anybody who fits that category. And that is what we've been doing. And it's been working out well. Thank God.
Wow, that's absolutely amazing. I loved every part of your journey. I think some of the things that I took from it was the importance of being so close to God, having that relationship with God. It's something that oftentimes as human beings we miss out, but it's the most important part of our lives, right?
Yeah.
And like you said, it was when you started walking closer to God, then you
Yeah,
started
that
hearing more and you
clarity.
started knowing, oh, where should I be? And that inner
Yeah.
voice started telling you, oh, what's the next step to take, right? And I'm just so, hearing that also reinforces that we just have to have that relationship. Another
Absolutely.
thing that I really loved from what you just spoken about is really the essence of support system. And that brings me right into the, which would be like my follow-up question, like, how would you say, what role would you say, your support systems have played? I know you've spoken a bit about that, but like, let's speak extensive, like, what were the things that you felt like if you didn't have someone, you wouldn't have been able to do them? I know you already spoke about like the videos, but like, do you have like other experience that you want to share about like support systems, around you?
Yeah, I mean, my husband. Right, when you're married to somebody, you expect to do all these things, be there, but he just really understands. If I can't cook, he does it. If I can't do this, he does it. It's just been really helpful
Shout out to
and
you.
really supportive in terms of, okay, how's it going? What do you need? What else do you have to do? And yeah, it's been really, and my
Absolutely.
siblings too. Yeah, one even got me lunch today.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah, so it's just being able to just have them to just bounce ideas on, and even you and my friend Eva as well, being able to just talk to them, right? Eva sends me videos all the time, like, "Girl, this is what is going. You need to do this. This is person. Call this person. So just having all those people, right? And people who are even also really reasonable
Right.
in terms of building a team, and yeah, all those things that really help. And yeah, and technology as well. Thank you, God, for technology. There are people that I just call and they're like, oh yeah, I'm going to be there, right? Like Tammy, Pastor, D Money, Martini, everybody, right? Dolakbo. And they were just like, oh, and Tommy as well, shout out to you as well. They were, you just call them and like, yeah, I'll be there, sure thing. And the thing is, even the day we started filming, it was like a tornado warning, and everybody was like, and I was like, oh my goodness, they're not going to show up.
Right.
Right. And they still came, and it was beautiful. Yeah, it was good.
Well, like you said, the essence of support system can never ever be overestimated. It's like they're like the pillar right behind you.
On your
Like
yeah,
you can't do
your
everything
shoulder.
on your own, and I'm just so proud of like how you have like the great people around you, and just like when you were talking about it,
And
it
shout out to
wasn't
Shubumi as well.
okay. Shout out to
And
Shubami.
everybody.
And then, like when you were talking about them, one of the things that I noticed was that it wasn't a lot of people, but they were quality people, which
Yeah.
speaks to relationships sometimes, or oftentimes, it's not really about having 1,000 people, but having like 10 people who can make up for
Okay, yeah.
1,000, right? So that was really beautiful to hear. Let's talk about a couple more things. Now let's talk about the theme Unshelved Dreams. I know that earlier in this conversation, you had talked about what Unshelved Dream is. But now let's talk even extensively about it.
Yeah.
What does Unshelved Dream mean? And before you go right into it, because again, in the introduction, you had mentioned that when it started as never escaping work. Now you spoke to your coaches, you spoke to mentors who said, you know what? Let's not get, people
So spooky.
let's not get this ambiguous. Let's not make people feel, okay, wait, am I about to click a YouTube that is saying never escaping work? No, I need to escape this work. Let's not get people twisted, kind of. Let's not get people, get it twisted. And that was why you had switched it to Unshelved Dreams, which are two beautiful topics, because the first one is talking about like, I'll let you speak to that. I'll let you speak to both of them. Now talk about how that journey has evolved from never escaping walk, now to Unshelved Dreams.
Yeah, so like I said, never escaping work is just something I really resonate with fully, because I sit down, I think you want to lose weight, you have to work. You want to make money, you have to work. You want to have children, you have to work. You want to be a good wife, you have to work. You want to be a good person, you have to work. You want, what else again? Please. You want to become stronger, you want to live
Anything.
long, you have to work. Even want to eat food, you have to work to cook
Yeah.
the food, or even spend money to buy it. So it's like there's really nothing in this life that I mean, God's favor exists. There's a place for that. But God always requires an action from us. He blesses the work of our hands, right? It's
Absolutely.
not just the thinking, the thoughts of our minds and all. So it's just like you gotta do something to get something. Right. So that's really it for never escaping work. And that is what I got. But everybody is not the owner of the idea, it's just mine. And if I share it with you, you might be like, no, you might see the negative part of it. Of course, some people saw the positive side of it immediately, but some people are like,
Yeah.
oh, I beg, I don't want to walk. Do you get? But it's just a part of life. So now shifting from that to Unshelved Dreams is now like, okay, you people don't want never escaping work is like this. Okay, Unshelved Dreams, right? Dreams are like, just like Pastor Dave, it says that dreams is not they are not the things that you have when you sleep, right? They are the things that
Absolutely.
keep you up when others are sleeping. So, and if a person is not careful, you can be in that place where your dreams are actually keeping you awake and you're not even doing anything about it. Right. And you just be like, I'm going to do it later. I'm going to do it when I turn 30. I'm going to do it when I turn 35. And before you know it,
Life is gone.
and what they say is the grave is usually is the richest place on earth, because there you have books that were never written, songs that were never sung, poems that were never written, expression things that feelings that were never expressed, and all that. And that is what I realized. And even for me, when people get married and they start having children, it becomes a tad bit difficult to it's just like, man, I'm gonna do this later. I
Not like I
can't do
can
it right now.
relate, but I support you on that.
What?
I said, not like I can relate right now, but I support you on
Yeah.
that.
So it's even for people, even for everyday person, like a man, you have your family to feed, you want to go to work, you just want to make money, right? Like, I don't have time for this dream right now. My family needs to survive. So Unshelved Dreams is basically to remind people that fine, make this money, do this, but don't forget about this thing, because this can really pave the way for your true happiness and actual wealth. Because
Right.
at the end of the day, if you're too focused on your job and not your work, like Miles Monroe, who is actually one of my great mentors, and I wish he was still here with us today, but he says something all the time that a lot of people focus on their job and not their work. Your job is, of course, what helps you to keep food on your table, keep your lights on and all that. But your work is that thing, that solution that you feel like you were sent to bring to this world. Right. So if you're too focused on your job and you neglect your work, I don't think you'll be truly happy. Of course, there are some people that their work is
their
also their job, which is what they do and it works for them, which is fantastic, right? So, but if you're that person that you know that you have this dream on your heart and on your mind and everything, fine. We know you need to make money. We know you need to, right? But you want to live this life without regrets. You want to live
Absolutely.
this world without regrets. And on shelving your dreams, doing it like putting in little, small, consistent daily actions, right,
So
is really
true.
going to help you to unshelve it and add to the amount of happiness you get from your life, right? That's it.
That's definitely a fantastic journey. Like, how you started from like never escaping work down to unshelved dreams. And I love how you spoke about like bouncing off your idea with people as well. Like, bouncing off with like potential audience and asking, do you think this name
This,
resonates with
yeah,
you? It doesn't mean like you're still moving away from that conversation, because at the end of the
yeah,
day, Unshelved Dream still talks about the fact that you could never escape this work. You gotta do
yeah.
the work, right? But now you're talking about, what about those dreams that you've left in the
Right.
shelf like all this year
Yeah, bring it
long,
out and
right? Bring them out
let's
and let's
discover the
work,
work you need
right?
to do
Exactly.
to
And
to
with
get
the
it
work
on.
comes like making use of your support systems, right? Getting a team like you earlier
Yeah.
mentioned, right? Doing the
Yeah.
work even when you're
Yeah. Even
scared,
investing money, investing your time into
right?
it.
So, those have been like very great conversations. And like she said, unshelve your dreams.
Right.
And well, I think we have one or two more questions. Let me quickly go through them. What do you hope to achieve? Like, what do you hope to gain from this? What's your end point from this podcast?
Well, for the podcast, it is really one thing that will really give me great joy is if people can say they watched something in the show and it inspired them to just remember that there is something that they still need to achieve, and they start looking for ways to actually do them gradually and just see that it can happen for them too. Right, it might seem really out of reach right now, but when you see that you have some things in your hands already and you're able to watch some of the solo episodes and even episodes with guests, and you just know in your heart that this is possible for you to, you can do it. Like, I don't believe that, I mean, the tagline of the show is to live an extraordinary life. And I say it all the time that living an extraordinary life is not just about money, right? For you to know that it's not just about money. It's about what is your contribution to the world.
So true.
How are you impacting the world? What are you doing? Look at Mother Teresa, see what she did to help, alleviate poverty, and even the kindness that she showed all through her life, taking care of all those children, all those babies, and all these other freedom fighters that I can't even, I mean, somebody paved the way for Black people to be able to live and breathe properly in America. So people died for that. People, what is the dream that you have in your heart? It is possible. Yeah. So that's just really my goal and what I hope to, the mission for the podcast and the many other things that we're still going to do alongside the podcast.
Wow, that's very profound. You speaking about, living a life of purpose. And let me tell you this right on the show, and I know like everyone who would watch would be able to attest to this, that you getting up to do this is definitely an inspiration, and you're already achieving the mission.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of money right now.
Yeah.
I know it's coming. But I really feel like I have an extraordinary life because every day I seek to be a better person for my partner, for my baby, for even people around me, right? Because it's not easy. I hate poverty with every fiber in my bone. I don't like it. I want, in fact, one of the things that I hope to achieve in my life is to be a voice, a stronger leading voice in actually helping people to get rid of, number one, poverty of the mind. Then the second thing is poverty of money.
That's right.
That is one of the things that I hope that I'll be able to achieve, to help people to first of all know that you cannot, poverty is curable.
Yeah, it is.
It's definitely curable if you are willing to start from your mind, and it's going to now show in your bank account. Yeah. It's not just about money, right? Right, but make money, because money can also do a lot of good. It's not just money can do a lot of good.
Yeah.
You can use it to fund a lot of things good things that will impact people in a lot of positive ways. So, but first and foremost, let's get rid of the poverty of the mind that a lot of people suffer from, and let's make money.
I agree 100%. Because oftentimes, like you said, people think it's just about money, and then when money comes and they haven't dealt with the poverty of the mind, then they don't act like it, and then the money is gone. Because money is at the end of the day is a resource that if you don't use, it leaves you, right? It's just like a friend that if it feels like, oh, you're not
If you don't
doing
treat it right,
it's out of the door. So that is very important. And like you said, your mission is to really like get people going, like, hit the ball rolling.
Yeah.
As opposed to like living their dreams right on the shelf, like every other time.
absolutely.
And you are already doing it.
Thank you, baby.
You're already doing it. You started this work, and so we've had a great conversation today. I wish this didn't have to end. But before we go, I know that you typically would do something with your guests.
Yes.
So I'm going to make you do the same.
Yeah.
Which
Bring
is
it
really
on.
about, okay, I see you're ready. Which is really about like quotes, sharing how a quote resonates with you. So I do have a quote here that says, to do something, starting to do something is the hardest part of doing something. Now I want you to speak to that quote. Like, how does this resonate with you? You're just starting this, right? Or you've just started this recently. How does this resonate with you?
Yeah, this really resonates with me because I am really in the business of starting things. I have started a lot of things, right? And what I found at the end of the day is that the minute you start, it gets easier. It gets easier. It's just the whole thing is just to find a way to start. Right. We used to say, oh, do it afraid. But I saw something recently on Instagram that I'm not adopting is like, do it anointed. Do it knowing that you were born to do this. Do it knowing that it's going to work out for you. You know how we all say, oh, okay, I'm going home, or I'll see you next week. You say it with a lot of certainty, right? Do it with certainty, like it's not going to fail because God never fails. So, yeah, just start and it gets easier. It's the same with going to the gym. When you start working out, it's going to be hard. Like I got a personal trainer recently. The first few days, it was like, God, why did I pay for this? Why am I putting myself through this? But it actually got easier. And even the time that I couldn't work out, I was actually missing it. So, yeah, it gets easier, basically. Yeah.
Absolutely. I really love that. Like you said, you just have to start, because the moment you start is when you realize, you even know that, oh, this is my calling.
Yeah,
I got to do this
exactly.
more,
Yeah.
But that stage where you start is usually like the hardest part, of
but
anything.
just go for it.
And the moment you start, like you said, do it anointed. I really love that, and I'm going to take that with me, because I
Yeah.
usually would think like, do it afraid. But now, like you said, do it
do
like
it
you have that
anointed.
boldness of
Do it.
God.
Do
Like,
it.
you
Do it.
have God. Why not just do
Yeah.
it?
I saw
with that much confidence?
it was just an Instagram post, and that changed my mindset again, even on top of the mindset I feel like, because in my mind I was like, oh, do it afraid. But when I saw I can't even remember who it's from, but wherever you are, shout out to you. Says, do it anointed, do it like you were born for this, do it like it's yours, do it like, okay, I was anointed so it cannot fail, and just proceed. Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's it.
And there was something that Buku mentioned during one of our podcasts that
The
you had sent to
episodes,
me.
yeah.
And she had said something that if God could share his own mind, like it's like a portion or a fragment of his mind with you, it means that he already equipped you for that.
Exactly.
So you saying this also backs it up. It's like, do
Yeah,
it, God.
yeah.
Like God called you for this. He
Yeah.
equipped you already and is ready to like
Yeah.
let you do this. Well, again, thank you, Reni, for bringing me on.
Thank you for coming. Come on.
Dreams.
Thank you for coming to do this with me.
Okay, tell me.
Thank you so much for coming. You've been such a beautiful friend for me.
Thank
And when I
you.
mean beautiful, I don't just mean the face, because obviously, right, you see the glory of God. See how she's glowing. And shout out to you, Jimmy, for taking care of my sister anyway.
Not even on the podcast.
You've been such a fantastic friend to me, and I'm just really grateful for your love and for everything, for your support. And she has a prayer group as well that we all pray together, and it's such a beautiful experience. And I love you.
I love you.
So now we just said it together.
No, let's end this emotional.
Wow. Yeah,
But
thank you.
I do love
And
you.
I love the fact that you even made the reference to God is my creative director podcast as well. That's such a beautiful podcast. I think people should also tap into as well.
Yeah,
And
for
I don't
sure.
even know the lady, but I just really love the fact that she's doing it in
Trust me, it's something
way.
that like after I listened once, I'm like, okay, I gotta
is a
subscribe.
good
I gotta
one,
watch
yeah.
this more. So
Yeah.
shout out to you,
So,
Bukus.
yeah. And also, guys, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe on Shelf Dreams.
Please.
And yeah, thank you.
Thank you all.